presented by Phillips Norelco. We are back in studio, and Brandon, you are animated now. How do you think you look?
I am animated. I look fantastic. I was animated last week, but it looked good on the road, and it looks good here.
It looks great, and we also have Big Ev over there in the corner now. Can't go without introducing him. Dave fired Jack Mack.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was boring, but I love Jack Mack, but he's just boring on camera. He's a great guy. He does a lot for us, but he's not built for on screen.
How do you think
fat
that Big
Ev
Ev
is? Look how fat he is.
I was gonna say,
why already? Why the
No, it's a compliment. You said you like all the fat people.
Oh no,
in your new set.
I love the display of fat people. We got big, sexy CC. I love it.
Ev, no, you were electric. You were a highlight. That's why you're there. That's a compliment.
No, I appreciate it. I didn't want it to be at the expense of Jack Mack, but I appreciate it.
It's not at the expense of Jack. You can't look at it that way.
And
if it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else. Like Jack Mack. I love Jack Mack, so don't. You're trying to make this like a Jack Mack funeral.
No, I'm not. I mean,
do it.
obviously, we
won't
haven't
have
been in studio. It's going to be obviously he's not here.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, he was supposed to travel last week.
I know.
I'm not gonna. I like Jack Mack.
Was it your idea to put the fat people behind Big Ev?
Yep.
There you go.
No, I love it. It's a great roster.
It's a great roster. Well, we had fun last week in Clemson, fellas, right?
Yep.
Good first live show. We'll be at Michigan, Wisconsin next week.
Let's go.
Here in studio, let's go start with the Bud Light weekend preview. Best way to enjoy college football game days are with refreshing, crisp Bud Lights. So the number 5 game of the week, Kansas State at Mississippi State. Brandon, I know you're going to want to talk about this. Not annoying at all. Mississippi State favored by 7.5. The total is 52.5. And Brandon, is your quarterback going to be playing? Tommy Stevens injured.
Tommy Stevens is his name. He went out in the second quarter last week. He was 9 of 10 for, 3,000 yards or something. He was killing the team he was playing. He will play. The team is not going to say he's going to play. He will play this weekend, and Mississippi State will win this game easily.
Tommy Stevens stinks. Kansas State's going to win.
Tommy Stevens does not stink. He is very, very good. He is high ranking in efficiency.
Here's the thing. Here's what this will be a theme of the show, and I know Dave will agree with me here. I am an eyeball guy. I'm a gut guy. I'm not a stats guy. I watched Tommy Stevens take 2 sacks on 3rd down when you couldn't take them. It was similar to our friend Mitch Trubisky throwing the ball out of bounds against Georgia
One time,
3 years ago.
Trubisky, I was at a bar.
It's
in
all
a
gut.
game,
I knew that was
and it
coming.
was
We knew that was happening.
15, and he threw the ball into the crowd.
It's all gut. So Tommy Stevens, until he proves that he doesn't stink, he stinks.
You didn't watch a second of Tommy Stevens against Southern Mississippi.
That
was week 2.
Neither did you.
I did. I went back
you
and
watched
watched
the
it.
replay.
Yes.
Okay, fair.
I broke down the film. Tommy Stevens looked very good. The offense was very good. He got hurt. He could have played, but they held him out so he could play against Kansas State. And that's what's going to happen. We beat him 31-10 in Manhattan last year. We're going to beat the shit out of him and start with
Let me see the bell.
Okay, here's the bell.
Whoops.
Oops.
That in Mississippi, that is probably the most disrespectful shit anybody's ever done to me.
It was
That's
accidental.
bullshit.
Most
It was
disrespectful thing is-
accidental.
That's
You
bullshit.
didn't give a good handoff like
The most-
Tommy Stevens.
The most disrespectful thing is ringing that.
Where's the badger? Oh, I'm sorry.
Stop. Badger's not on here. I wore this shirt. I bought this shirt, and it didn't go that way. Cal actually beat Washington last week. So.
No,
At least you're still wearing it.
Oh, that's
though.
great. Nobody's
still wearing it.
going to grab the fucking bell.
No, nobody wants you to be ringing it.
Nope,
Nobody.
nobody's-
too loud in here. The studio's not big enough.
I'm not
for
going to
that.
ring it again.
Do you
It's
think
right down
it's
there.
dented?
It better not have been. And I got a cowbell guy. He's watching this.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on Kansas State? I know we talked yesterday. They're not
I like
bad.
Kansas State. Yeah, I mean they
haven't played
aren't
anybody, but-
they aren't running the same old Kansas State offense where Bill Snyder used to have the same guy quarterbacking every single year, some white guy who was like 6'3", basically shuffled for 4 yards.
Their
down the
quarterback's
middle.
name is Skyler.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
No,
it's the
but he
same
doesn't
white guy.
play the same. They don't play the same type of offense. They actually throw the ball a little bit. I'm not going to say that Kansas State's going to win it outright, but I do like 7.5. I think this is going to be a tough game.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to give credit to myself, first of all, for doing something that you won't find on many shows. I haven't watched one snap of either of these teams.
Okay.
I have no idea who is going to win this game. I'm going on past what I think of them in the past. Kansas State, I never think of a road team. You said they won 31-10 in Manhattan last year, so that's kind of good enough for me. I'll go with
That was
Mississippi
a very
State.
good defense, though.
Yeah, but
Very
Number one
good
defense
defense,
in the-
yeah.
in the
Listen,
league.
I can't say this enough. I know nothing about these teams. I don't
Okay.
care about these teams. They're irrelevant to me. They're both. The only thing I know about this, I know you don't want to go to Manhattan. I know that's a bad campus. I know you don't want to go to Starkville. Bad campus. This is a bad campus.
Wonderful
Yeah, it
place.
is.
Also,
Wonderful
Two
place.
shitty places to go to
Wonderful
college.
place.
quick
Great
shout
people.
out to Brandon Walker at the end of our live show. I don't think either of you were on the RV. He literally sat down, took a deep breath, said, "Where am I?"
Oh, I was there.
And thank you for my life.
Where the fuck am I right now? It's just, that whole thing is. What?
Ohio State's up 21-0. Fuck. Holy shit, Maryland 42-13.
Thanks for hiring me, Dave.
You're welcome.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. All right.
It was touching.
It was the most genuine thing I've ever
He's
seen
like,
him do.
I can't believe I'm here. I'm overwhelmed. You've saved. Like, he had a moment where he finally was like, my life is saved.
He was
And looked at
shell-shocked.
me.
He then
was.
puked when he got
He was
home.
shell-shocked.
Heat stroke.
First of all,
So it might have been heat stroke.
First of all,
He was
I did
delirious.
thank you, but I didn't say thank you for my life.
You
I already-
did.
I already
You
had a
did.
good life. I said thank you
he
for
said-
hiring me.
No, what you said was, I can't believe this is my life. Thank you for hiring me.
Was this-
so
and
you're
so you-
both right.
That's pretty fucking close.
Yeah,
to
you
what I
both
said.
were
heat
right.
stroke,
I was
though.
sitting
Yeah,
there.
it's true. I didn't know he had a heat
Yeah,
stroke.
I did not have
Yeah.
a heat stroke.
You've had a
You
heat stroke
threw
before.
up because of
I've had
heat.
one before in my life. I didn't have one Saturday.
Nobody's shaming you. If you felt bad, you felt
gets
bad.
so
Dave is
defensive.
shaming. Dave's been shaming me this whole time.
You
I didn't even
threw
know you had
up
a heat stroke till
because
a second
of
ago.
heat. That is a heat stroke.
Okay. Also,
How did I know shame you about heat stroke? I didn't know you had a heat
I
stroke.
don't know. Hey, Dave. Thanks for hiring me, buddy.
Right. Yeah,
Appreciate
that's what
it.
I'm saying. He literally, it was touching. It was finally somebody I could see I saved his family.
We were doing okay.
Not really.
So you're taking Kansas State,
I'm taking Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Based on the 31-10 on the road last year, because Kansas State is one of those teams 1,000 times better at home than they are on the road.
Yeah, Kansas State, new head coach. I'm going to go with Mississippi State, too, just because I don't want Brandon to be upset next week. Let's go to the next game. Arizona State at number 18, Michigan State. Michigan State is favored by 14. The total is 42. Herm Edwards, Mark D'Antonio, what do you guys think?
Well, I'll start. I bet on Arizona State last week, minus 35, 36.
Ooh.
I was tilting, Dan.
I know. I was texting
I was
with you
in
when
my
that
hotel.
happened.
I was tilting. It was the only game left on the board. I bet them the week before they didn't cover. They were favored by 36. I think they had 9 points at halftime, 3 field goals. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't score. They were playing a team that I don't recall, but it's not a real team. Michigan State, one of the best defenses in the country. I don't see Arizona State scoring. So Michigan State wins this. They win it
They
big.
played Sacramento State last week?
Yeah.
That's what it
They
was?
played a fake team.
Here's what happened. Dave, I'm such a good friend. When you start tilting, I try to jump in on the tilt with you. I tried to live bet that game so I could be in the pain,
Thank
the
God you
hurt
did.
locker. No, it was such a bad game they didn't have the live lines. So I would have live bet it with you,
So
but it
you
was such
wanted
a
to be
fake
the
game.
misery loves
No, I'll
company
get in the
for
hurt
him?
locker. I'll get in the fucking foxhole. If
That's a good
my
friend.
guy is losing money, I will hop in there and lose money as well.
Let me
also,
say
I just
this.
wanted to watch some ball. At the
Right,
end of the night.
and it's
Yeah.
if you're losing, you do to a win. I'm going to say this. I don't know what Arizona State's problem is. They're usually a blowout team. They stink this year.
Remember, this was the leave it on the grass game
Yes.
from last year.
Leave it on the grass. Leave it on the grass, man. Leave it on the grass. Leave it on the grass.
You know, they're going to
They have a
get
freshman
annihilated.
quarterback,
Yeah.
so
They're going to get annihilated.
I agree with you, Dave. Michigan State has one of, if not the best defense in the country.
Did I mention they couldn't score on Sacramento State?
Yeah.
Arizona State.
And
At home.
Michigan State now, they fixed it against Western Michigan, which who knows. But their offense I'm talking about. So their defense is fantastic. Their offense seems to have corrected some things. Arizona State has a first-year quarterback.
yeah, he's a
Jaden
freshman.
Daniels.
Play
They-
first game on the
Manny
road.
Wilkins left.
First game on the road. I'm taking Michigan State minus 14. That feels like they're going to suffocate them.
Don't
Arizona
find many
State.
over-unders, by the way, in college. At
42.
42. Yikes.
Arizona State also has one of the best running backs in college football, Eno Benjamin, but he hasn't really done anything yet. I think Michigan State could be a top 10 team in waiting. They're really, really good.
Their offense is not a top 10 offense, but yeah.
With that
They have-
defense,
but
though,
they
they
have
could
veteran
be.
guys.
That
I
defense,
agree.
they could be.
I
I
agree.
think they beat the
Yeah.
hell out of Arizona State.
And while we're talking about Michigan, are we going to talk about your shirt at all, or are you just going to...
Well, I am a fan of the academies of the service schools, and they had a great effort against Michigan. I want to congratulate them, for they came very close to a shocking upset, 22-point dog. Granted, Army is very good. They did the same thing last year against Oklahoma, and if we can put in the clip
The foot
later
game.
of the coach, of the Army coach, the speech was worth probably 30 points by itself.
Next play, next play, next play. For 15 rounds, let's make them go toe-to-toe the whole way through. State of Michigan, about to meet the last of the hards. There's an infantry unit going on patrol, and the range is hot, and we're going to get out there right now. Let's go win this game. Let's go.
So this is me paying homage to my second school. I'm an Army guy. A lot of people forget that.
You do have the jacket, I'll give
Well,
you that.
not only the jacket, I single-handedly beat Navy.
That's true. He did. The foot game was last year, Army versus Oklahoma. It was on pay-per-view. Oklahoma does one game on pay-per-view
Yeah.
every year. There was a Periscope stream that I found that had like 100,000 people watching, and the guy just had his feet in the shot, and people were just roasting his feet.
Yeah, you want to see my feet?
And it was even more electric than the game.
My-
When the internet gets behind
Yeah,
something
oh, yeah.
like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
the comment section, it is very, very fun.
So I know we're not talking about Michigan. We are talking about Michigan State, but are you worried about what you saw from your team last week? Because they couldn't
Kayce,
score.
I
They
know.
couldn't score.
Well, they
Badgers are gonna
did.
crush
I mean, they did score because they won the game.
Well,
so
they-
what you just said made no sense.
I mean, they did score, but they could not
So
score.
put in the Frank Beamer, the famous Frank Beamer, the tied at 0-0 going to overtime.
I mean, here's the thing. We beat a very good football team, a group of kids who play hard. They did the same thing versus Oklahoma. I'm not worried. As far as I know, to quote our friend Herm Edwards,
Hello? You play to win the game.
you play to win the game. Michigan's 2-0. That's what great teams do. They find a way to win.
They do find a way to win.
Wisconsin will kill them.
My favorite thing from the RV on Saturday was watching you watch the Army coach's speech.
Well,
As-
I knew
as
that
the
was a
game
problem.
started, yeah.
Listen, his speech, and again, I don't know if we're going to put it in. Hopefully we do. But he challenged. He basically said something to the effect, "I'm challenging the entire state of Michigan. The infantry patrol is ready. The range is hot. Let's go, get some ass and win this game." And then everyone in the locker room is yelling, "Pup, pup, pup! Range is hot."
The range is hot!
That was not a "we want to keep it close" speech. That's we're going to beat these. I knew it. And guess what? They didn't.
They did. Michigan survived. And then as far as Arizona State, Michigan State will win by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm on board with that. Let's go to game number 3. We have number 19, Iowa at Iowa State. Iowa is favored by 2.5. The total is 44.5. And this is a Cy-Hawk Trophy game. Brandon Walker, you apparently have a team in this because you're wearing that
do.
shirt.
I
So what
do.
do you think is going to happen?
I fucking hate the Iowa Hawkeyes. I hate them.
Well, Iowa State hasn't won in like 3 years.
4 years.
4 years.
But this is the year. They got him at home. Iowa State, very good. Brock Purdy, he's not going to lose this game. Iowa's got one of the best defenses in the country. Iowa State's got a salty defense. I think the under is the best bet here, even though it's a low number. But I think Iowa State does enough to win the game. Also, I hate Iowa.
Well, they hate you. That's why
I
you
know.
hate
They
them.
fucking hate me.
It's weird because you look like you're from there.
You are. Your name
Okay,
is
I'll take that.
you're like Cody from Des Moines.
Like if you and Trent were lined up in a lineup,
cousins.
right? They'd be like, "Oh,
You would pick me as the guy from
No,
Iowa?
you guys
you
are
may.
cousins. Yeah.
I don't know why Iowa hates me so much. I've never done anything to them. I was just giving my unbiased
had
take
that-
on a
yeah.
football game.
They had that big Cheerio Bowl game."
That's all. It
And
was
they
the
kicked
Outback
the
Bowl.
shit out of you.
They beat us by
Big
5
Ten
points.
strength, buddy.
That's not what happened, but they don't like me. They
They call
said
you a hick a lot.
they said mean things about me.
When
yes.
I was calling you a hick,
That's what
You're
I
a
said.
hick.
I said when
Yikes.
Iowa
You're a
fans
hick.
are calling you a hick, you're a
you should
hick.
maybe walk around like one of those straws, just the straws in your mouth at all
Yeah.
times.
Why?
Like
hay
Huckleberry
seed?
Finn.
Yeah,
A piece
Ringing
of hay?
the-
Oh,
Yeah,
you
like-
look good in
yeah.
overalls.
Yeah, like
Just
the-
maybe
with the
we should just
cowbell.
get some fences that you
Yes.
can paint.
Yeah.
Just walk
I don't know, I think
around.
the
I like
Cowbell
Iowa
makes
State to
sense.
win the game, Casey.
You like Iowa State?
That's what I like.
This game always feels like it's close. I mean, doesn't it feel like I can close my eyes and it's just going to overtime and they can't, they run 8 plays within the 12-yard line and they barely get into the game, into the end zone? I'm taking the under.
Seneca Wallace played at Iowa State, right?
Yes.
It's the only guy I really know. This game will be electric because it's one of the first times these two teams are kind of very close early season, both undefeated. I think home field advantage. I'm going to give it to Iowa State. Although I don't know in a game like this where the home field matters as much because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of Iowa people there as well. They'll travel back and forth. But I'm going to take the home team, Iowa State. I don't like the game.
I don't like the game
Last
either.
year was
I
only
love the
13-3, so the under.
Can I revise my pick? Actually,
Yes.
I would like to take the first half under. This feels like a
College football game?
feels like a 16-16 overtime game. Then they score like 4 touchdowns.
I'm
2
gonna take-
years ago, it was
First half.
44-41.
Yeah, but 2
First
years
half
ago it was like
under.
80 points. Last year it was
First half
13-3.
under. First half under.
I like that pick.
Thank you.
And you're not going to take who's going to win the game?
No.
Iowa State's
this
gonna
is
win the game.
flipping
I mean,
a coin. Iowa is a better team than Iowa State. Iowa State is home. You're
Iowa
flipping a
also
coin.
hasn't played anybody yet, but
I
they're
mean,
a better
no one's
team.
played
I mean,
it.
it's
Right.
2-0.
Yeah.
But they're a better team.
Iowa State hasn't played anyone, and they struggled
No.
with Northern Iowa, who's an FCS team.
Yeah, but they can be tough and
FCS teams.
Like,
I like
I got
Matt
an
Campbell,
FCS team thing for you later.
I do that if you're like sparky, spunky little basketball team.
Yep.
I will then assume you are the
Yep.
same way in football.
So you go
That's
all the
why-
way back to Ali Faroukmanesh with Northern
Yes.
Iowa.
Northern Iowa.
I like it.
Wait, I'll
Iowa.
go one up. I took Indiana State against Kansas.
Just
Second
Larry
one.
Bird.
Yeah,
It's a Larry Bird.
if you are a stubborn, good mid-major in basketball,
It's your identity.
yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. I'm going to take Iowa. I think they're just a better team, unfortunately for you, Brandon Walker, because they hate
that's
you.
okay, Kayce. Kiss my ass.
Oh,
It was very
sexual
ugly.
harassment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That came from a hateful place. I
It
didn't
did.
really like
I
that.
hate
at all.
Iowa. I'm sorry. I hate Iowa.
I know you do. Do you
I
hate
like
them more
that-
than Mississippi or than Ole Miss?
Equal.
Really?
Equal
Really?
hatred, yes.
I did not
It
expect
is
that
a
answer.
passionate hatred.
But you've hated Ole Miss for your whole life.
My whole
makes no
life. I
sense.
Just
love
because
it.
they call
I
you
love
a
hating
hick?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, so then how can you hate
Yeah.
Iowa State?
It's
Iowa
been
as
6
much?
months of passionate hatred.
6 months versus a lifetime. That makes no sense.
We packed a lot of hate in 6 months.
That was a
It's only
shocking
been
answer.
6 months?
Since January. I guess it's
Yeah,
8
so
months now.
It's not,
Something
even real
like that.
hate.
All right, we're going to digest that a little bit. We're going to go out to Roan, who is in Boulder for concussion protocol, and he sets out to solve ageism in the league.
Football is a young man's game. With the hard cuts and heavy hits, the on-field life expectancy of a pro is barely 3 years. If players make it into their 30s, they're basically senior citizens.
I decided to retire.
As I start my new journey.
You okay?
I want to call my grandmother.
You can call your grandmother?
But I am going to retire. This is not an easy decision.
But high in the Rocky Mountains, there lies an anomaly, a superhuman who's managed to maintain his athleticism into the 4th decade of his life. Colorado's 32-year-old kicker, James Stefano. I sat down with Stefano at the team's Boulder facility. Bro, so you are the oldest kicker in all college sports. How does it feel to be that much older than everybody else that you're playing with?
I feel young, man. I feel good. I don't really care, hey. I just go out and kick the ball, and if someone's got something to say, they say it, and I don't listen, so it's all good.
As an elder statesman, Stefano feels the bigotry firsthand. One of the biggest problems in college football today? Ageism. What do you mean if someone has something to say? What kind of stuff
you
do they say?
get all the jokes, man. It's past your bedtime while you're playing a night game. I got that at Utah. That was fun.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun. Then I went to miss the kick too, so it got in my head a bit, I reckon. But that's all good.
Kind of prejudice, though, that they're treating you differently just because it's something that you can't control. Kind of ugly.
I can't control, but it's all banter. It's all good fun, so it's good. You know, 32 years old as a kicker, you can play till you're 40. So I thought, why not?
Following our chat, James took us out onto the practice field. After which, we sat down to unwind with his favorite activity, watching Team Jeopardy. I guess things are a little bit easier when you play against the kids. As we went our separate ways, I was still puzzled by the curious case of the Colorado kicker. How was he able to last into his twilight years? To find out more about the logistics of longevity, I sat down with Hall of Fame kicker Morton Anderson, who played football until he was 47 years old.
Hi, I'm Pro Football Hall of Famer Morton Anderson, leading scorer in the history of the game. Most games played in the history of the game. Pleasure to be here.
Why is it possible that kickers can have a later trajectory and longer trajectory in the game of football?
Really, being a kicker is very distasteful. It's the world of suck.
Then we asked about Stefano.
So this guy probably has some natural talent. Secondly, his wear and tear on his body is not going to be the same as if you're an every down player and you're playing 75 snaps a game. You know, these foreign-bred guys, they just have good genes too. That's another thing, right? So maybe he's getting good sleep. Maybe he's drinking the right kind of beer. I don't know.
The Fosters, right?
Maybe the Fosters.
That got me thinking. If kickers last so long, maybe I could help out an old friend of mine. A friend named Chainsaw Lennon. Chainsaw Lennon is the world's #1 onside kick trick shot specialist. Every day, he floods the internet with videos featuring the tender touch of his golden toe.
About 8 years ago, I couldn't do an onside for the life of me. And then it was one of those things, I'm kind of like a worker, a grinder. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get good at this. And then I just all of a sudden started practicing it one day and eventually got real good at it. And then I just kept up with it, and then it's just paid off.
He's the best in the world at what he does. But At 43, he's a victim of ageism himself and can't catch on with the team.
I mean, if a team, an AFL team, NFL team wanted to, you know, call me up to do onsides or even, you know, keep coaching, you know, that's fine with me, but I just love doing what I do and I'm going to keep continuing to do it.
Lennon's story is straight out of a movie. He was sharing trade secrets with NFL kickers while working as a custodial engineer.
It started maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. I was actually a janitor at an elementary school.
You're like the Goodwill Hunting of
Oh, yeah. So these NFL guys would get at me and be like, hey, how do you do your onsides? How do you do yours? Oh, by the way, where do you work? I'm like, oh, I'm a janitor at elementary school.
If anyone deserved the glory of big program football, it was Chainsaw Lennon.
It was time. If I was going to end ageism in college football, I would have to act now. Colorado coach Mel Tucker was a proven ally to the elderly. Maybe he could help.
Everyone knows all good culture starts with the kicker.
Does everyone know that?
Coach Tucker values his players' independence.
Yeah, I don't talk to the kickers.
And he's sure to check in on his aging stars.
What does it feel like to be in there, an old man in the locker room with all these young bucks?
The only guy with pubes and stuff, it's crazy, man. I love it, man. When I first got here, they stopped asking me relationship advice because I was married and they didn't want to get married yet, but
right,
no, I love it, man. I drop down a little bit, they get up a little bit, so it's good fun.
He wasn't even afraid to lie about his players.
He's a true baller, and I mean, I might be able to use him as safety.
It looked like Coach Tucker was the perfect person to help.
I want to bring a little bit of attention to my close personal friend down here, a man by the name of Chainsaw Lennon, the best onside kick trick specialist in the entire world. And I'd love to open up the floor, Chainsaw, if you have any questions for Coach.
Shoot, I didn't think of a question.
God damn it, Chainsaw.
Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Chainsaw Lennon, 43 years old, and you've proven that this Colorado program isn't scared of ageism and isn't scared of having an elderly kicker. Will you give Chainsaw Lennon a scholarship?
I can't guarantee that I'll give him a scholarship walking in the door, but I'll give him an opportunity to earn a scholarship through production.
I had done it. I ended prejudice.
Quite a heartwarming story out of Boulder, huh?
Love it.
Beautiful.
Listen, Colorado will be in my hearts forever.
I was about to say, you guys are big Colorado fans after what happened last week.
I had financial fortunes radically reversed. I had the money line plus 4.5. I had them game
over.
And the over 64 is 17-0 with a minute to go in the third quarter. They won all of it in overtime. So Colorado can do whatever they want, and they will be in my good graces.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Go Buffs.
And you've now learned that if you are on an airplane, all your bets hit.
Yeah, airplane seems to be very lucky for me.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of Colorado. Thanks so much, Jerome, for Concussion Protocol. Let's go back to the Bud Light Weekend preview. We are going to go to a team that we're familiar with. We saw it last week. Number 1, Clemson versus Syracuse. Syracuse absolutely stinks. They got shellacked by Maryland last week, and we obviously saw Clemson live and in person. They didn't look great. A&M is just not very good, but what do you guys think about this game?
I think you jump off A&M so fast every year. It's embarrassing as an alumni. I will say I've been on the wrong side. Oh, the number 1 team in the country. I've been on the wrong side of Syracuse now 2 weeks.
Clemson is favored by 28, by the way.
Correct. I've been on the wrong side of Syracuse. I had Liberty against Syracuse, and I took Syracuse and Maryland. Wrong side. I was on the right side of Clemson. I had A&M. So even though they didn't cover, I feel like I bet on them. They're like my friends, so I'm going to go Clemson here. Even though I'm going to say the obvious, Clemson has struggled with Syracuse.
Yeah, this is one of those games that in your head you're like, Clemson always plays them tough, and it's really only like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
but they actually
beat them.
They beat them, and then they had Kelly Bryant got hurt last year or the year before. 28 points is so much. I'd probably just go over, but man, it's really hard to bet a 28-point spread of two teams in the same conference, especially away, and be like, well, I hope at the end of the game Syracuse doesn't feel like just scoring.
Well, here's my first fun fact of the season. Clemson is 1-4 against the spread against Clemson in the last 5 games.
Clemson's 1-4
Syracuse, yes.
That'd be a hell of a trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I'm going to go with Syracuse because I think 28's too much. They do give Clemson trouble. I didn't think Clemson was that great on the line of scrimmage against A&M, and Syracuse is embarrassed, pissed off, and at home.
I
so
throw
that's
out
what
that
I'm
Maryland
going with.
game. That's a classic. Well,
you can throw it out. But they gave up 63 points.
I know.
They're embarrassed.
Here's where I should throw it out. It's not the right way to say it. I don't take as much about that game away from that game because Syracuse was in a total letdown spot. We got Clemson coming up. We're getting excited for the big game at 7 o'clock. They go to Maryland at noon on a Saturday. That's a tough place to play for a kid when you have the big #1 badass Clemson coming to town the next week.
That plays into my picking Syracuse because Syracuse, let's be honest, has been looking at this game all offseason.
Right.
They were not looking at the first 2 games. They were looking at
Tommy
this one.
DeVito's also been way overhyped, though. Haven't you been on Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, I'm not really. I haven't been on Tommy DeVito. I've been on Tommy Stevens, Mississippi State's quarterback, who will play this weekend. I have not been on Tommy DeVito, but I have been on Syracuse. I thought they'd be better than they showed, and I think they'll show it this week.
And just to clarify, we're all just talking about the spread. I mean, everyone thinks
Clemson's
going to
gonna
win this game easily.
win.
By the way, win easily. It's just 28's a ton. I will say, shame on college football week 2. This is our #2 game. Clemson minus 28 versus Syracuse.
But you know what, Dave? I kind of relish in these bad weeks because this is when the gamblers shine.
Well,
we make the games fun.
Yeah.
My money's green.
Money's
green.
Right.
I just think that if they gave up that many points to Maryland, that offense.
Maryland's offense could be
I know,
good.
but Clemson's offense is one of the best in the country, and they didn't look that way against A&M all the time last week, but they're just going to run all over them, so I'm taking Clemson the points. Are you touching the total? Did you say you were?
I'm taking the over.
I would take the over, too, if I touched the total.
I would take the over as well.
62.5. All right, the #1 game of the week, number 9, Florida versus Kentucky. Florida is favored by 8. The total is 50.5. This is the night game on Saturday. Obviously, we saw Felipe Franks in week 0. It feels like we haven't heard much about them since then. And then Kentucky, our guy Cash Daniels. So what do you guys think?
Kentucky quarterback's hurt, correct?
Yeah, Terry Wilson is out for the entire season.
So do
Sawyer
we know
Smith.
does anybody?
Yeah, he's the Troy.
Sawyer
He's a
Smith came
transfer
from
grad.
Troy.
Yeah.
However, Sawyer Smith played high school football and grew up in the state of Florida, in the Panhandle. So if you put any stock into that he's playing Florida in his first game, maybe that matters.
I don't think that makes him good.
No,
It doesn't.
no.
And also, being a
that stat is from
graduate-
Florida does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I was
he's
just throwing it out there.
He's played at Troy, so
I'll
it's not
say
like
it.
he's.
I'll say what everyone's thinking. Sawyer Smith's not a name that I feel confident in.
That's a good name.
I wasn't going to
No.
say that. I
Sawyer?
do, yeah, no.
Sawyer
Sawyer?
Smith's
As long
a
as you're
great
not-
quarterback name.
Sawyer sounds like what you name your, a hipster couple in Brooklyn names their daughter.
Alliterative names are always better in sports. Sawyer Smith is a great quarterback
not
name.
a good name. No, Sawyer.
With the last
Sawyer's
name,
not a good quarterback name.
Sawyer
Sawyer
Smith.
Smith is a great
Kind of
quarterback
No,
name.
it's not.
If it was like
Sawyer? I
Sawyer
think
with
that-
like a random, weird last name, but Smith is just so to the point.
Sawyer, you guys are out of your
No,
mind.
I
have this
actually-
handicapped so much better
The
than
hipster thing holds. I think
Yes.
it's fair. But Sawyer Smith that's a scrambling, rambling guy.
That's a
you. All right, we'll
gunslinger.
see.
I
I'm
mean, he
taking,
also
I'm
played
taking
for
Florida.
Troy, so
Also-
it's not like he's been playing great football.
This is all irrelevant to my pick because I think Florida's going to go in there and beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, Felipe Franks, your guy.
I like
Talk about
Felipe
names.
Franks.
You still like Felipe Franks?
I
Loves him.
I like him
How
against
can you
Kentucky
like
because Kentucky's defense isn't that good. Kentucky hasn't been very good against bad teams. Florida is a legit top 10 team. I know they didn't look it against Miami. They looked a lot better in week 2.
Yes, Dave.
Florida beats the shit out
So
of Kentucky.
I
Yes,
bet
they-
on Kentucky 2 weeks in a row. They're 2-0
You forgot
versus.
Toledo's quarterback got hurt.
But they're 2-0 versus spread. So what do you mean by they haven't been good versus bad teams?
They wouldn't have beaten. They would not
They're
have covered
2-0
Toledo.
versus
They
spread.
would
I'm
not
just
have
telling you
covered
Week
what
one,
they
they,
did.
I didn't think
Eastern
they covered
Michigan.
spread in week
Well,
one.
no, trust me, they did.
They
because I
did.
bet on
But
them.
Toledo's
Against-
quarterback.
They
sucked.
covered it late.
So can you clarify what you mean?
I mean that I don't think Kentucky's a very good
But
football
no.
team.
You said they haven't been good versus bad teams. It's 2-0 versus spread.
All right, well, I retract that. They weren't
Okay, that's all I want.
overwhelming.
Thank
They
you.
weren't
Thank you.
overwhelming.
Thank you, Brandon Walker.
They weren't
You're
overwhelming.
done. I'm gonna
They covered late in
thank
week
you.
1.
They covered twice. I'm going to take Kentucky. I lead the Kentucky bandwagon. I have in my top 10. I had them all last year. They're 2-0. I bet on 2 weeks. Kentucky is a green machine for me. I think they keep this close. I think they beat them 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dave, too. I like Kentucky. I don't like what Florida did against Miami now that Miami lost to North Carolina last
Kentucky
week.
doesn't have
Miami,
a quarterback, guys.
You just said Sawyer Smith. You told me.
I like the name.
Terry Wilson. Yeah, Terry Wilson's not playing.
I told you
He's from the
facts.
Panhandle.
I'm
The
not.
name stinks.
Sawyer Smith's a good quarterback.
If you close your eyes and I told you that it's the fourth quarter, Kentucky's down 6, the ball is at the 10-yard line, and Sawyer Smith has to go 90 yards.
He's replacing
Get out of here.
Sawyer.
Here comes
Sawyer Davis. Sawyer Smith sounds good.
Who's the old West Virginia quarterback with the
Steve Slayton
with the Snapchat brothers?
Steve Slayton was a running back.
No, he just graduated.
Will Greer?
Will Greer.
Not
Will
Steve
Greer.
Slayton.
Yeah, Will Sawyer seems like the Greer. Sawyer Greer.
Yeah.
Sawyer Greer. They named their kid. They have weird names. Sawyer Greer.
Who's Sawyer Greer?
Have you seen the hats that Will Greer's wife wears? She's a hipster.
Well, yeah, but their kids are good athletes.
I'm just saying.
What is their big? This could be Sawyer Greer. No problem.
I actually don't hate Sawyer Greer.
Sawyer Smith's better.
Sawyer Smith is better than Sawyer Greer.
I'm taking
This guy
Kentucky.
stinks.
I'm taking Kentucky despite the fact that Terry Wilson is not playing as well because I don't think Florida is that good.
How about Kentucky being good? When on this show are we going to give Kentucky an ounce of credit beside me?
They're not that good.
I just took Kentucky.
But why? Because Florida's not good.
Well, okay, then would you like me to say that I think
Florida's
Kentucky is better
Yes.
than Florida? Okay. I don't
Thank
think
you.
that
Kentucky's
they're
not better than Florida.
Well,
No.
we'll see, won't we, Bram Walker?
We will.
We're talking about the spread.
Problem last
You know
year.
We're
what?
talking about the
grass.
spread. I mean, we
Yeah.
argued about
We'll
Kentucky
see.
forever
That's
last
why
year.
football is the greatest reality show on earth.
But I also said I would never go against Kentucky this year because Cashton is all that swag.
We'll see.
So I have to stick with that.
You probably
regardless.
took Florida last year too, you idiot.
Probably did.
But
Might
luckily
have.
for you, nobody knew who you were or paid any attention.
A lot of
So
people-
all 0 people who watch your picks didn't know.
I was a big deal in Mississippi last year.
Well, speaking of that idiot at the end of the desk, it's time for One Blade Trivia with Brandon Walker. One Blade is the one tool that will let you trim
That was
the
good.
edge
He didn't
and
coach me.
shave-
Casey got you good.
Trim
That
the
was
edge and
good.
shave only length of facial hair with a single pass. It's easy to use and it's versatile. One Blade does it all. Brandon, take it away.
All right, so last week's question was which quarterback last won the Heisman Trophy with more than 10 interceptions in a season? Did you get it?
I don't know what the answer is.
I haven't told you. The answer was Chris Winkie in 2000.
Yeah, I did get it.
Chris Winkie
I
in
did get it.
2000. The winner was Alex Vasquez from Boise, Idaho. This week's question, I want to see if you guys get this. Which team has the most second place finishes in the Heisman Trophy? Which team has the most second place finishes
I know.
in the Heisman Trophy? I know we did it at your desk and you didn't know it then, but you know it now. Dave, any idea? You can just write it down if you have any guesses.
Second
Just
place of all
hashtag
time.
One Blade Trivia.
Okay.
You can go to Twitter.
I got it.
And do hashtag One Blade Trivia. First to get it right wins. You'll win some Philip
How many-
Morocco stuff.
I'll tell you if it's right. I'll tell you if
he
it's
knows
right
it.
or not.
He knows it.
Nope.
That is incorrect.
Nope.
That is
Damn.
terrible. That's
It's a team
embarrassing.
you wouldn't expect. Let's just say that.
Well,
That will
then I'm
help.
out.
Yeah.
That's One Blade Trivia. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. Which team has the most second place finishes in the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, so make sure you go on Twitter and do that, and you get some free stuff from Phillips Morocco and from Barstool. Now we are going to bring in Big Ev, who will not be standing in between Dan and Dave this week. I know Dave's very upset about that. Big Ev, you feeling comfortable over there on that desk?
I feel good. I do want to say I don't see myself as a desk guy. I feel like maybe like a nice recliner maybe would do me much better.
Can't live
But
in a cage.
This will work right now, though. This will do.
All right.
So the first viral moment, friend of the program, Cash Daniel, has been making waves. Actually, the last 2 games he's done it. For going full Mike Tyson at the coin tosses, going up to the opponent, staring them right in their eye. I love it. Actually, another fun fact, Cash Daniel DM'd me last week. We actually spoke about our mutual love for Mike Tyson. So I wanted to read a quote that he said to me. I just said I enjoyed the video of him at the coin toss. He said, quote, "Stole that from Mike Tyson. Said he would stare at his opponents, and if they looked away, then he knew he had them." So that's the approach I'm taking into every game, Mike Tyson mentality.
I love Cash Daniel.
Almost killed us.
Yeah, he did almost kill you guys.
Almost killed us.
Burn the house down.
I love Cash Daniel. I love you, Big Ev. Not really. I like Cash Daniel more. I don't think we can say Mike Tyson invented staring at people in boxing.
But, he was saying
But
he
if Cash
stole-
Daniel is taking
Because
it
that's
from
like
Mike
every
Tyson.
boxer does that.
He claimed that was where he got it from.
Fair.
The initial Mike
Who was
Tyson.
so you're again doing inside. Who was the inside tip you gave us? The lineman. That didn't
Oh,
work.
it's stung.
Well, that was-
I
that
told
was
him
a
to
bad
his face
one.
it was bad.
I've got a good friend of mine that plays for Kansas named Kevin Fetter, the starting right tackle. I talked to him this week. He has assured me that the Mad Hatter has the boys ready to go. He has assured me that Kansas is ready to take the next step in the Big 12. Kansas -7 over Coastal Carolina in a rout.
I bet
That was
on
a bad
that.
pick.
I bet on that.
It was
You
horrible.
Fat bastard.
It was really bad. It was terribly bad. They scored the first drive, they didn't score again.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right, Big Ev. Moment number
All
2,
right.
please.
Moment number 2. This Florida State player, I've been trying to find an explanation for this. He lined up backwards on a play.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Brandon Walker's
Brandon Walker, are
drinking a
you
beer.
drinking a beer?
I'm thirsty. My water's over
Sponsored
there.
by Bud Light.
Bud
I think,
Light.
I think, I
Brandon
think that means I
Walker
got a crack
doesn't-
line too.
Eat it.
Who
lined up
Who?
the-
Where? Who's lined up back?
It was
Go
earlier.
back.
It was early.
Go
Like,
backwards.
he lines
Play it
up
again. Play it
completely
again.
Play
opposite.
it again. I was just thrown off by
There you
Brandon
go.
This guy right
At the
here.
bottom.
Oh, that's part of the play.
Yeah, that's part of the play.
That's
I
part
saw
of the
But
play.
picture.
nobody else does that.
Well,
I just don't
Willie
see-
Taggart. That's Kendall
It's also-
Briles, right?
It's also Florida State, and everything
I mean,
they do is stupid.
Kendall
do you mean?
Briles, the offensive genius.
Yeah.
If it were
Kendall
anybody but
Briles
Florida
sucks.
State and how embarrassing they are this year, that wouldn't have been a thing, right? Nobody
To me,
would-
that's
No.
not even a thing. Still
Yeah,
not
no,
a thing.
it's not a thing. But
The
because it's
picture
Florida
was the
State,
thing.
everybody's making fun of
The
it.
picture's thing, but that was not.
Once you see it.
Yeah.
All right, Big Ed, number
All right,
3.
next, we have a lot of stuff from the LSU-Texas game, but before the game, LSU players went over to the Texas sideline, drank some of their water, spit it out. This is one of those, I respect pulling the alpha move, but I always feel like it sounds better in theory when you go to do it, like, oh, we're going to go drink their water, and then you realize, bro, you literally just took a sip out of a Gatorade bottle and spit it out. But I respect the move of just going to their sideline and taking their
That's
water,
awesome.
spitting it out on their field. I got to respect that.
Never drink another man's water.
No, anything like that. That's college football. And
Yeah.
they're trying to take this out of college football, but that's college football. That's sports. I love it. I love
There
it.
was so much shit talking between those teams.
Well,
Did you-
Texas started it. You can't
Yeah.
say that you're DBU when you have the history that LSU has.
Was
like-
it true that Tom Herman's actually mad about the
No.
horn sound thing?
No,
that was
that was
fake?
fake.
I really believe it.
Yes.
Though. No,
Was
I
the AC thing was true, though, right? Texas did not let him have AC
Correct.
in the
Oh,
locker room
that's-
at halftime.
Red Auerbach.
that's
Red
right.
Auerbach
And you know
special.
what? The one guy that it would never affect is Coach O. He probably was
Yeah.
like, it's
He wanted it to be
He
hot
probably
there.
didn't even know the AC got turned off. He was completely.
You're not going to
comfortable.
smoke out LSU.
You're not
because
gonna
they're
smoke
down
out
on the
Coach O
bio.
either,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like a million degrees.
We
down.
had him on a couple weeks ago. He said that he wants to be friends with the sun, so he runs every day at noon in the heat because if you want to be friends with the sun, you got to spend time with it.
I like that.
So that's definitely not a guy that gives a shit
No.
about air conditioning
No.
being out. All right, Big Ed, moment number 4.
This last one, this one really hit home for me. Ohio State fans, just being the beautiful, great people that they are, that support the troops, they decide to stay after beating Cincinnati 4-2-0. Took time out of their day when they could have been out having fun, celebrating the win, drinking, to cheer on Army against Michigan. I mean, this is the Ohio State that I know. These are the great people that I know
Get the
out here
heart
supporting
ripped
the
out again by Michigan.
supporting
That
the
must have sucked.
troops.
It's a new day. It's a new
When
day.
do we ever get our hearts ripped
You
out
just
by
did.
Michigan?
You all had a full stadium watch Michigan win.
No, I
Ripped
mean,
their
we were,
hearts out.
but it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
about,
you were
it
there.
wasn't about
Yeah,
Michigan.
Yeah, but you know it was.
It was-
and you were
it had
sitting
nothing
there
to do with
watching.
Michigan.
We are so in your brain that you're staying in the stadium to watch us. We don't do that to you.
No, we saw
Yeah,
Army.
thank you.
Army
Thank you
was
for the
gonna
support.
battle our
Thank
troops,
you
the
for
people
the
that
support,
fight for this
Fatso.
country.
Hey, Fatso,
and we
thanks
want
for
to
the
cheer them
support.
on. Go Army.
Thank you.
Go Army.
Thank
Go
you. We're in your
troops.
head that you're staying. Like you just said, you didn't go out, you didn't party, you didn't go drink, you didn't
No,
enjoy the
we
day.
want to support
You
our
stayed
troops.
to watch us kick Army's ass. Thank you, Big F.
No, we stayed because we support our troops.
Mhm.
We love
Then
the
do it next
military.
week. Then do it next week.
Absolutely.
All right.
Done.
Stay in there every game and watch Army. We'll see if it
100%.
happens.
I
We'll
mean-
see if it happens.
Go Army.
Dave's also supporting Army today, wearing a shirt.
They
He's the
are
biggest
my
Army
second
guy.
school.
Me too.
They're not. You can't just make that up.
No, I grew up 30. They're my local college team. I grew up 30 minutes from West Point. I played youth football championships on their stadium.
You,
I'm
first
an
of all,
Army guy.
no,
Those
that's
are
a lie.
facts.
That's
Those
a
are
lie.
facts.
There is
That is a
0%
fact.
chance you
That
were
we've
skinny
never
enough to
known.
play youth football.
Yes.
Caught him in a lie. You get weighed there. Yeah. How fat were you as a kid? There's no chance.
Not as fat.
Pop Warner, they put you on the scales. There's
Yeah,
no chance.
I was tipping the scale,
Yeah,
but I made
yeah,
weight.
there
I
is no
soaked weight
chance
and I
you
made
made weight for Pop Warner football.
I'll bet this.
Nice
I'll
try,
bet
you fat
If I
son.
can pull this up proof, you wear an Ohio State jersey the next show.
Oh.
I made weight every year for youth
I don't
football.
gamble.
Every week.
You don't get
That's a good point. That's smart.
Deal or no deal.
Definitely not a game.
Bev, you kind of played yourself here, though.
How?
To be totally honest,
Yeah, you did.
Ohio State fans caring about Michigan
Exactly.
that much.
Yeah,
that's
that's
about
tough.
like you.
No, we
you
care about
thought you
Army.
had them,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you really
right.
No,
it
yeah.
went the other
You're
way.
reading our fan base all wrong. We
Yeah,
were there
then
to
stay next
support
to
Army.
stay every week for Army then.
Yeah.
And
We
Navy.
do.
And Air Force.
All of them. We love
Yeah,
them all.
yeah, we'll see.
We love them all.
I get it. You care about us a lot. I get it.
And Big Ed, if Michigan would have lost that game, you can't tell me that entire stadium wouldn't have been cheering and looking like
Well, because they would have been
assholes.
so happy that Army won a game. They're like, go Army. This is awesome. We love our troops.
I do like how you have a Michigan flag right behind you.
Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't do that. No, it's just nice.
Yeah, rip it off.
All right, Big Ed, what about the game face challenge? Yeah, please don't rip this set down.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, please don't rip this set
I looked,
down.
I was like, it's nailed in pretty good. But we do have, courtesy of Philip Sirocco, the Game Face Challenge, hashtag Game Face Challenge with one blade. Shave your team's logo, wherever you got hair, send it to us, hashtag Game Face Challenge, and we'll put it on the show.
Yeah, that looked pretty sweet last week in the live show, too. There were a lot of people there in
Oh,
the
look
tent.
good. Yeah, getting the Clemson paws in their head. It looked great.
Yeah, so we'll be back doing that live on the road next week as well. It is time for PointsBet's Lock of the Week. Deposit $50, get $100 in bonus bets, and use the promo code Barstool. We are not doing great in our picks. Brandon and I are 1-1.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. You picked Texas A&M money line. We
No,
have the tape.
my points bet was the.
You said
No.
Texas A&M to win. We have the tape.
Yeah.
That's what you said on
I
the
picked
live
the
show.
game, but my lock.
It was during the lock
No,
of the
no,
week.
No. That's
Last
not true.
week.
You said
That's
Texas
not
A&M
true.
would win the game.
Oh,
money
no,
line.
I did. I said A&M was going to win the game during the Bud Light weekend preview. My lock of the week was the points.
No, it was during the PointsBet
Nope.
lock of the week.
Promise it wasn't.
We have watched the film.
We've watched the film.
Do we have the film?
We have watched the film.
I am going to go with this. This is going to surprise absolutely nobody. But Aggies, you're going to be on board with this. That line today is insulting. 16.5 points. It's a joke. This is the hardest game Clemson's going to have all year. Texas A&M is going to cover. It's not even going to be a question. You guys only won by 2 points last year.
Tape never lied. Let's get it. We'll figure this out.
We'll figure that out.
That's the American way to do it.
All right, Dave. Let's moving forward. Who do you take this week?
Well, we already talked about this game. I'm taking Michigan State minus 14. I think they absolutely destroy Arizona State. I don't think Arizona State could score. If I was going to take two, I'm not going to take one. I just want to get out the schneid. This is easy. I'm going to take Michigan State. I also like Kentucky.
That was I'm telling you, it's the
I said
preview.
the end of the show where the PointsBet lock of the week
No,
is.
see, the PointsBet locks of the week is before the top 10s. That was the Bud Light preview weekend. I'm
all
telling
of
you,
our top 10s are covered up.
I'm telling you right now that the PointsBet locks of the week, I said the points. I promise. I would put a lot on
This is
that.
the PointsBet lock of the week.
No, it's not. We're talking about the matchup. I know exactly what I fucking said.
Hey, calm down.
Kayce?
Blattman just said in my ear, my lock definitely was the points.
But you said it on the show. What you send Blattman doesn't matter. What you say on the show is what matters.
Oh, no, I said both on the show. I said
Okay.
during the PointsBet locks of the week, you should take A&M and the points. During the game day preview,
That's
I
what I
took
think
A&M.
happened.
All right. Then it was two different picks.
Then you two should really apologize. You're
I'll
going to win.
apologize for this, but I will also say that I had the most restraint in my entire life. What camera am I looking into? When Kayce Smith celebrated like she won the Super Bowl on a private jet when Texas A&M lost by 14.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, it is.
That is where this
but
anger is
also-
coming from. I held restraint.
You didn't
I
have
didn't
to hold
say
restraint.
anything. She
You had every
celebrated.
right to be mad.
I
She
had every
celebrated
right
my
to be mad,
victory.
Dave. I didn't say a word. Kayce celebrated
he's right.
like they
I
had
didn't-
won
no,
the whole
listen.
Super Bowl.
He's
They
right.
lost by 14.
No, I know that they lost
In
by
the
14,
last second
but
play.
And I lost
I-
money,
I
and
won.
I fucking held it in all week, and I was a very, I was
but I
a
won
good
money.
person
But I
about
won
it.
money, and now I didn't win as
You
much.
didn't.
But
You
I
didn't
won.
bet. You
Yes,
said
I did.
you said it was just your lock of the week.
And I bet money on it.
Well, I didn't know.
all
Yeah, I mean,
right. Well, then
but
that
that wasn't
changes
said.
again.
Thank you. I
You
bet
never
money on
said
it.
you bet
I
money
did.
on it
As the
during the
world
game.
turns.
I
As
did.
the world turns.
I told
You
Brandon
never
earlier
said
in the week I
you
was
bet
gonna
money
do
on
that.
it when
That
we were
changes
on the
it.
plane. You never said you bet money on it. If you had said that, it would have changed everything. You just said it was my pick of the week, and I'm happy that they covered. And I was like,
Well, because
your team
when
just
you
lost
don't put
by
as
14.
much money on games as you
No,
guys do.
no, that doesn't matter.
No.
If you have money on it,
I had
counts.
money on it. I
you
told
didn't
Brandon
say
earlier
that.
in the
You
week,
didn't
but I
say
didn't want to be
that.
like, hey guys, I had
Carrying
money
this around
on
all
it.
week.
I mean, I held restraint. I was on a plane. What am I supposed to do?
Why
just
didn't you
saying.
just ask me, hey, did you have money on this game or not?
I think I said that.
Well,
I
he
think I
was
was
trying
like,
to show restraint,
yeah, I
trying
was
to be
trying to.
gentleman.
you
I was
definitely
being a
asked me, so I would've
gentleman.
told you yes.
But normally, when people have money on a game, they say they have money on the game.
No, because
when
I don't.
they win the bet.
Because every
You know
time
who
people,
doesn't do that? LEO until it's over and they tells you you had the pick. Drives me nuts.
That's also
well,
a crazy
I
move.
apologize that I upset you, but I did have money on that
All
game,
I know
and I
is
also said
the celebration was very loud in my face, which Dave I understand because he's betting a lot more than me, but I had
Well,
lost,
exactly.
and I lost in a
so
shitty
I didn't
way.
want to be like, hey, I won some money, but I know I didn't win as much as you lost. I was just,
You just
excited that it
instead
happened.
That was
like
a
you won
great
the Super Bowl.
minute and a half of air time. We had the touchdown from Colorado and the touchdown from
And I
Mississippi State.
got, people were in my face.
All right, Dan, go ahead and give your lock of the week this
I don't
week.
even know what my lock is.
I don't even.
Oh,
why are you
Wake
looking at me?
-3. Wake -3. I'm chasing North Carolina all around the country. North Carolina, they should have lost to Miami. Miami outplayed them. I'm chasing them. I'm chasing North Carolina.
It's a Friday night game, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. It's Friday night game.
I would have given
well,
BC.
We'll find out what happens. Did you have BC?
No. I gave Michigan State.
All right, Wake is gonna win. When you see this, they've already won. What's the? I'll go with Ohio State's gonna blow out Indiana. That's a game that everyone
16.
thinks Indiana keeps it close because they have kept it close a couple times in the past. 16.5.
If you wonder whether there were real degenerates, that little exchange of Ohio State, like Indiana, 16,
Right.
that should answer that.
Yes, and Indiana being like, they always keep it close.
Yeah,
they
I
kept
know.
it close that first game, like
They got that with some wide
2011
receiver.
or something on a Friday night in the first half.
Brandon.
Florida State stinks. Virginia is
I like
probably
that
the
pick.
second best team in the ACC. Bryce Perkins, the second best quarterback in the ACC. They got him at home. Biggest game for Virginia in years. Virginia beats the hell out of Florida State and covers the 7.5. Easy. That's the lock of the week.
I like that pick.
Big Ev.
I'm going with Maryland -7 at Temple.
Wrong.
Temple.
Big Ev, you are
No.
All you need to do is drop a line of hamburgers and he'll follow it, just picking them up and eating them.
No.
A line of hamburgers.
No.
Yeah.
This is different.
Oh, what happened?
This is different.
Yeah, Maryland played well last week.
Oh,
They won by 30.
They put up a ton
Just,
of points the first 2 weeks. Temple is by no means a good team. They played one team.
They're going to win this game.
They're
Temple.
really bad. You think Temple's going to win this game?
Yeah, I do.
No chance.
I do.
No
I think
chance.
They're going to keep eating them
Keep in
hamburgers.
mind,
A line of hamburgers.
Big Ev, that's
It was such a
Keep in mind, I had the best
Stupid.
lock record last season.
Be a bigger
This
square.
is where I get on track. We're going
Square.
Maryland. I'll even add a couple
Square
to
is
it
such
too
a
because I
good
want to really
square.
get back.
Square is such a good
I don't care. Maryland
You're a
-7.
square.
It's going to hit.
Big Ev,
I'm gonna
I
be laughing
told you
everyone
last
this
week when you took Kansas, I said, do not bet that game. Kansas will not cover. You didn't listen to me. I'm telling you again, do not bet that game.
That was
Maryland won't
Kansas
cover.
was different. I'm friends with the tackle. I wanted to
How
sound
many
cool. It was
times
good
can you
information.
tell us that you're friends with that
I good
tackle?
information.
Go ahead, Big Ev.
It's man, but I'm also
Explain
just
yourself.
so I know these are going to hit. I'm going to get above 500. I'm going to have 3. I'm going to add UCF as well. I was going to use them last week. Brandon used it. I don't want to double
Taking
up.
3 locks? I like
Yes.
this move. I like this
UCF.
Well, you can do that?
Yeah, you can do that. I
You
like
take
this
$1 million because you lock the whole thing. It's a credibility issue.
Yeah. I like
And I'm
that
going to go
move.
Purdue. Purdue plus 2.5.
I will say
TCU.
thank you. You gave me that Purdue. That was, we haven't, how is that not your lock?
What?
Oklahoma State.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
there it
Oklahoma
is.
State. So I have 2
Forgot it.
locks. Oklahoma State -14. T-Boone Pickens died. I already took it. Thank you, Dave.
Everybody
Yes.
gets a bunch of locks?
Yeah, I have 2 locks.
You can
now.
have as many as you want.
Well, and we got to explain that. T-Boone Pickens just died like an hour before taking
2
the show.
seconds ago.
You don't have booster
91
dead
years
guy
old,
games
yeah.
very often. You got to jump on it. I will be all over.
This
Oklahoma
is
State.
going
It's
to
a
be.
road game. It's a road game.
That
They got a
doesn't
home
matter.
game
It
next
doesn't
week.
matter.
So
I
that's
guarantee you the
You get
T-Boone
2.
Pickens' wife, a son, whatever, is going to give a pump-up speech before they leave town. This is the rare 2-week dead guy game.
Because they got
Dead
Texas
booster
coming in
guy
next
game.
week.
Texas at home. Oklahoma State's going to be rocking in 2 weeks. Take Oklahoma State this week and next week. Double dead guy.
Our locks are all over the place this week. I am also taking a team from Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma -23.5 against UCLA.
You sure you don't want that money line?
No, I didn't say that during my lock.
All right, okay.
I can promise. Roll the tape back. UCLA stinks, and I don't think that they can stop Lincoln Riley or that offense. Brandon, how do you feel about that Jalen Hurts pick?
Don't throw shade at me over Jalen Hurts on this show. That's a
Why not?
podcast thing,
I like
okay?
this. I
But
like this.
This is a great pick. I like the pick a lot.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
the pick too.
All
I
right.
do.
I think that. Thank you, guys. By the way, unnecessary roughness, you're going to talk about Jalen Hurts today, too, right?
We will. We'll talk about Jalen Hurts and the superior quarterback in the Big 12, Sam Ehlinger.
It's never going to. Do you agree with that?
No.
I think you're the only person on the planet
He's
that
got
agrees
shit
with
That's
for
that.
fine.
brains.
That's fine. That's
So
fine.
if you place a spread line bet on any of the 4, you get, oh, nice.
Dave, would you like to read the personal pay dirt? Because he doesn't want to talk about this anymore.
Place a spread line bet on any of the 4 below games. Well, we have more than 4, so they're going to have to deal with that. For every TD your team scores, you get a $6 bonus. Must be New Jersey in order to bet.
I love Oklahoma State and Ohio State. They're going to score 1 billion points each.
There you go. Personal
awesome.
pay dirt. Brought to you by Dave Portnoy. Let's go to the Phillips Norelco top 10s. Phillips Norelco is the most innovative electric grooming tools to help you do what feels right. Dave, your top 10. Michigan still number 1?
Yeah, how do I unveil it? Can I see it? What's happening?
Oh, there it is, Dave.
All right, so there's my top 10. Michigan's still number 1. No movement there. They won versus a tough Army team, Clemson 2. Really not many surprises. Ohio State, as I said, I don't recognize the program. Wisconsin moved up. Impressive.
Thank you.
Kentucky's still in my top 10, so pretty basic there. I think a lot of people obviously will have an issue with Michigan. I still believe winning matters.
Brandon is distraught.
I just don't understand Kentucky, Dave. I don't understand Kentucky in the top 10.
It's a history thing.
I know it's a history. I know he's 2-0 betting on.
No, it's last year.
It was a big thing last
Everybody
year.
said that to me last year, and they busted their way into the top 10.
They don't have a
Well, but then
quarterback.
they lost to A&M.
No, it's a last year history thing.
It
Like,
is.
you expect people to understand your little rivalry with Iowa. People actually do understand his thing with Kentucky.
People understand my thing with Iowa.
Not really.
I hate Iowa.
All right, Dan.
I got LSU, number 1. Boom. I mean, they were the only one who's won an impressive game, right? Like
you
a
think
truly
Texas is that
impressive
good?
road game.
I mean, Auburn.
A truly Auburn, yeah, truly impressive road game. That was a neutral site, Auburn. So LSU's number 1. I bumped everyone else down. I put Michigan on there. I don't know why they didn't make it. I emailed it. I swear to God. So they're in the top 10 somewhere, but they're just not on there.
This is 2 weeks in a row that
Yeah,
you've
it's
done
starting
that.
to become hard to believe because you keep saying
I
that.
swear to
as
God,
a video.
Utah's not top 10.
Who are you emailing that to? Are you emailing to the right person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 weeks
Maybe
in a
too
row.
late.
It just
I don't
seems
know.
a little fishy.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Brandon.
All right, so I did the same thing he did, except I didn't replace
Kept Michigan
Clemson.
off and then pretended you emailed about
No,
it?
I didn't replace Clemson with LSU. I replaced them with Alabama. What I saw out of Clemson, Alabama's going to wear them out on the line of scrimmage.
What did you see out of Alabama?
I just kept on saying, sit in front row, and he kept on saying the lines.
I know that Alabama is going to be good on both lines of scrimmage. They're going to be better than what I saw out of Clemson against A&M. If A&M can move them off the ball, if A&M can get to the quarterback, Alabama's going to be much better. And now I can't see my top 10. I can't remember the rest of it. But all right, so I got LSU number 4, Ohio State. I got Michigan number 7 because I'm a good college football fan. I got Florida still there. I got Utah number 9.
What does that mean?
Well, because I'm a good college football fan. I remembered to email Michigan in my list.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking shit about
I
them.
did too. I just forgot.
Just 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Big F, your top 10?
Mine had a little switch up this week. This is an eye test thing for me. Clemson's going to stay at 1. The Ohio State number 2 after everyone thought they were not going to even cover the spread against Cincy. The little brothers are coming up state, trying to make some out of it. Fickle was the coach, used to be our coach. We beat them 42-0. No doubt about it. So they're number 2 right now. Bama, Georgia, LSU got them 3, 4, 5. I love LSU. Like I've said in the past, I love Joe Burrow. Loved what I saw from Oklahoma. Auburn's got the big win already. Penn State and Wisconsin have been impressive.
Penn State was not. They were basically at
They were
halftime. They were
down
like
at
tied.
halftime.
They covered.
They covered.
Yeah, they did
Both
cover.
games.
But that's not impressive. Like at halftime, it was a tight game.
But I'm saying they're covering these games.
They cover
I feel
both
good. I like
games,
their
Dave.
quarterback.
That's
Well,
the bar.
they don't hand out.
That's the bar. You
They don't-
said
no,
Kentucky's
no.
impressive because they covered.
Oh,
That's what you said.
They covered.
Those are your words.
It was a
No,
game.
you
They
said they
covered
were
a
bad versus
30-point
bad
game.
teams. My question is this: do they hand out trophies based on this is top 10? This isn't gambling.
A couple of minutes ago, you
I'm
thought they
not
handed out
talking to
trophies.
you.
I'm
I'm
just
looking
saying.
past it.
You're going
I'm
back
saying
to
they
the
look good.
words.
I'm going eye test.
It
They
says I
look
don't know
good
how
to
Penn
me.
State's ahead of
A
Michigan.
lot of
Makes no
yelling.
sense.
Okay.
Wisconsin's 110 to 0.
That's right. So unveil mine.
Yeah,
That's why.
Wisconsin has
Yeah.
legitimately been dominant in there, so that's why they're in there as
Yeah.
well.
Yep,
And I
Thank
refuse.
Big
UCF
F.
is
Yeah, UCF
disrespected
is-
year after year after year.
That's a terrible
They're number
pick.
10. They look great. They're going to keep rolling. They're going to roll Stanford.
I have a question, Big F. You said you put great emphasis on the eye test, and you put Ohio State number 2 and LSU number 5.
Yep.
LSU beat Texas. Ohio State beat Cincinnati.
They beat them 42-0.
Yeah, but
But Cincinnati's not any good.
I just feel like if your eyes are watching something, watching them beat
I
Texas
watched
is more
them shut
impressive
up
to my
Cincinnati.
eyes
This
than
has been-
his eyes are focused on the buffet.
All right, my top 10. I also have Wisconsin cracking because I think that they're.
There you go.
Wait.
No.
Wisconsin.
The shade.
No, actually, I really
The
did think
shade.
this isn't one of those things where
No,
like
I'm
you
just
keep
kidding.
leaving off Michigan. I actually thought I did,
Michigan's on there.
Yeah,
No, I
who'd you
know.
say?
I said I thought Wisconsin was also on it as well. I dropped
Oh.
Michigan pretty far. I do think Michigan's going to still win the Big Ten. Clemson's still the number 1 team in the country. I don't know how anybody else can say that thus far, but I thought Wisconsin was on there. I'm going to be honest, Dan. I
That's
apologize.
okay. I don't care. It's okay. I actually would rather Wisconsin not be ranked in the top 10 because that's when we fuck up.
You guys need to pay more attention to details. You thought Wisconsin was on there. You thought Michigan.
I was
mean,
joking.
Pay attention.
That's what I'm
left
saying. Like, I
Michigan
legitimately
off.
thought that I had
left
Wisconsin
Michigan
on
off
there.
every week and
On
say
purpose,
I
yeah.
emailed.
I hope that's on the bulletin board next week.
Great.
Yeah.
Still gonna get this shit kicked
We'll
out.
see. Oh, your tune has changed.
Shea Patterson stinks.
Your tune has changed.
Shea Patterson stinks.
Did you hear that echo in the back?
Yeah. My Ohio State echo. That was so perfect.
So perfect. Yeah, so speaking of this game, we will be live from Madison for Michigan, Wisconsin's 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. We will be there. It's going to be obviously very hostile. This was a very hostile show. Anything else, guys?
Excited for next week.
Excited for next week. We'll see you guys next week on the road.